No one saw it coming. One moment, the music industry was just rolling through its usual release cycles, and then, out of nowhere, two names collided like a financial supernova. JISoo from Blackpink and ZAYN MALIK, the former One Direction heartthrob turned soulful solo artist. Together, they didn't just drop a song. They dropped a market shockwave. Within 24 hours of their collaboration Eyes Closed being announced, ZAYN MALIK's label stock value quietly spiked. Investors called it the ZISO effect, a fusion of ZAYN MALIK and JISoo's global power that triggered one of the most unexpected surges in entertainment finance this year. But how could a single track do this? Why would one song move markets, shift algorithms, and make Wall Street whisper about K-pop? It started with silence, literally. A single black and white teaser posted by JISoo, showing only her silhouette and a man's voice humming in the background. Fans thought it was a movie trailer, maybe even a perfume ad. But within hours, the internet unraveled the mystery. That voice wasn't just any male vocalist. It was ZAYN MALIK. The internet cracked like thunder. Twitter trended with #JISOOZAYN collab. Twitter fan edits flooded with slowed reverb versions of Pillow Talk mixed with Flower, and YouTube was ablaze with speculation. Before the label even confirmed it, the anticipation itself became a marketing weapon. What most people don't realize is that anticipation has a monetary value. Every Google search, every retweet, every pre-save link clicked, it creates digital energy. Brands, investors, and even hedge funds track this energy. They don't call it hype, they call it predictive data. When Eyes Closed reached its teaser peak, the metrics shot through the roof, and that's when something curious happened. ZAYN's label saw a measurable increase in trade volume. Small investors, seeing the social heatwave, started buying in. It's the new form of fandom economics, where passion meets profit and hashtags turn into currency. Meanwhile, JISoo BLACKPINK was playing an entirely different game. She had just come off the global buzz from her solo projects and her brand deals with Dior and Cartier. Yet instead of diving into another predictable pop release, she chose to collaborate with someone outside the K-pop ecosystem. That's what made it genius. It wasn't just East meets West, it was art meets asset. Partnership didn't just merge two voices, it merged two markets. ZAYN MALIK brought his Western R&B soul, JISoo brought her precision and emotional control, and together they crafted a single that didn't just sound luxurious, it felt invested. Behind the scenes, analysts noticed something striking. Marketing experts started calling it emotional equity. It's when two brands, or in this case two artists, combine their emotional trust with their audiences. When you have millions of fans who already believe in your artistry, your love stories, your pain, your triumphs, you don't just release music. You release value. Every lyric becomes a share, every stream becomes a transaction of emotion. And when that's backed by the right visuals, labels, and strategic timing, the result isn't just virality, it's valuation. Then came the day of release. Midnight hit and Eyes Closed went live globally. Within 30 minutes, Spotify servers lagged in certain regions. YouTube's premiere counter rolled past 1 million views before the first chorus even ended. But here's the twist: the song wasn't what anyone expected. It wasn't a bubblegum pop anthem or a standard love duet. It was haunting, cinematic, melancholic, with echoes of nostalgia and restraint. Felt like a love letter written in a foreign language. ZAYN MALIK's raspy depth and JISoo's crystalline tone danced around each other, not like lovers but like two souls who understood pain too well. And that's when the ripple started. Major entertainment stocks, not just ZAYN MALIK's label, saw small but visible bumps. Social analytics firms began releasing early reports, calling it the global crossover effect. Imagine that, a 3-minute song influencing investor sentiment across continents. But if you think this is just fan power, think again. This is psychology. Humans invest in stories. When the story is emotional, credible, and visually stunning, they don't just watch, they buy. By week 1, Eyes Closed topped charts in over 25 countries. The official music video, featuring surreal dreamscapes and cinematic lighting, was trending everywhere. But beneath the glossy visuals, insiders whispered about a deeper layer, a secret marketing strategy pulled straight from behavioral economics. Every teaser photo, every lyric line, every pause in their interviews was calibrated to evoke one thing: emotional scarcity. It's the feeling that something this beautiful, this rare, might never happen again. That scarcity triggers what marketers call FOMO, the fear of missing out, which, in investment terms, fuels urgency. And urgency? That's how markets move. Midway through the first week, rumors began swirling again. Some claimed the stock surge wasn't just organic, that somewhere behind the curtain, a silent group of investors was already prepared to ride the ZISO wave. Could it be planned? Could this entire cultural explosion have been engineered? Or was it simply the power of two artists who, through authenticity and timing, became living case studies in emotional marketing? The truth for now remains locked behind closed doors, or perhaps behind eyes closed. But here's where it gets even crazier. As media outlets analyzed the phenomenon, luxury brands began to piggyback on the momentum. Search data showed spikes in Dior, Cartier, and Versace, all brands connected to their artist. Streaming platforms promoted the duet on their homepages not because of ad deals, but because algorithms detected abnormally high engagement retention. People weren't just clicking, they were watching the full video, rewatching it, and discussing it in long threads. That kind of behavior signals deep emotional resonance, the holy grail of digital attention. Some fans even noticed subtle patterns in the visual storytelling, mirrored scenes of JISOO BLACKPINK and ZAYN MALIK facing away from each other, with flickers of stock market tickers hidden in reflections. Was that an accident, or a subliminal nod to the financial undercurrent behind the art? Nobody knows for sure. But it certainly worked. Financial media picked it up. Bloomberg, Variety, and Forbes all mentioned Eyes Closed not just as a song but as an economic signal, proof that entertainment is the new stock market. And that brings us to the cliffhanger. 'Cause if you think this story ends with one duet, you might be missing the setup for something much bigger. Insiders are now hinting that this might be the start of an extended partnership, not necessarily musically but strategically. A new type of global entertainment conglomerate where music, fashion, and financial markets merge under a single narrative. Imagine Kim Jisoo and Zayn Malik as the faces of an entire era of cross-border creative equity. Sounds wild, right? But so did the idea of a K-pop idol and a British R&B star shaking Wall Street. So what's really going on here? Maybe we're watching the next evolution of fame, where artists aren't just performers but living brands, where every lyric and look becomes an asset class. Maybe Jisoo and Zayn Malik didn't just create a song, maybe they built a prototype for the future of music commerce. And if that's true, then this stock surge isn't the end. It's the beginning of a new economy driven by emotion, artistry, and digital confidence. The funny thing? Most fans probably don't even realize they're part of it. They're just vibing to the song, sharing edits, making playlists, and unknowingly feeding one of the most sophisticated market feedback loops in entertainment history. It's both thrilling and a little terrifying, the idea that our feelings, our fandoms, and our clicks have real-world financial consequences. But maybe that's what makes it beautiful. 'Cause beneath all the numbers, the theories, and the graphs, it still comes down to two people, two voices that found harmony. Eyes Closed reminds us that even in an age of algorithms and data, human connection still moves the world, literally and figuratively. And as the final notes fade, one truth becomes clear. The world didn't just listen to a song. It witnessed an economic event disguised as art. The ZISO effect is real, and it's rewriting how music, money, and emotion intertwine. So keep your eyes open, because the next chapter might not just break charts. It might rewrite the rulebook. Subscribe, stay curious, and don't blink, because if this was just eyes closed, imagine what happens when they finally open.